Sunday, October the 1st, the Faculty of Humanities at An-Najah, in cooperation with the Palestinian Ministry of Culture, held the International Translation Day Symposium. The symposium hosted Mr. Afonso Cruz, a writer, novelist, photographer, and musician, Mr. Abdel Jalil Al-Arabi, Tunisian researcher and translator, and Mr. Hussam Mohammed, critic, poet, and translator, born in Damascus and lives in the UK. The symposium was attended by Dr. Samil Kilani, President's Assistant of Social Affairs, who moderated the event. Dr. Abdel Khaliq Isa, Dean of the Faculty of Humanities, and a number of Palestinian writers and translators, as well as a group of the university staff and students. The symposium aimed at showing solidarity of the worldwide translation community in an effort to promote the translation profession in different countries. At the beginning of the meeting, Mr. Cruz talked about his career, artistic and literary life. Then he talked in details about his book, Let's Buy a Poet, which was translated into Arabic and other languages. Mr. Arabi talked about his starts with literary translation and interpretation and said that he has 3 translated and published novels and 3 books that will be published soon. He stressed the importance of translation in conveying the true image of the Palestinian cause as a strategic option to attract the international attention to Arabs and Arab society. In turn, Mr. Muhammad drew the comparison between Arabic and Hebrew and talked about their histories. He also discussed the topic translation in the Palestinian-Israeli context. On Monday, October the 2nd, the Faculty of Educational Sciences and Teacher Training at An-Najah held a scientific session on astronomy and science teaching strategies. The session hosted the American volunteer, Mr. Robert Hendricks, specialist in physics and astronomy, who was accompanied with Ms. Noura Khalife, coordinator of the English language program at Project Hope Center. The meeting was attended by Dr. Ali Assali, Dean of the Faculty of Educational Sciences and Teacher Training, and a number of the faculty staff members, Ms. Shada Jarara from Public Relations, and a number of university students. The meeting aimed at introducing An-Najah future teachers to new teaching methods in the U.S. so that they can be applied in the Palestinian schools. Mr. Hendricks talked about his experience and a volunteer in the Project Hope, a project which aims at encouraging cultural exchange and changing the stereotyped image of Palestinians in the West. Mr. Mohammed Qnaibi, Assistant Professor at the Department of Biomedical Sciences at An-Najah, has recently initiated a new collaboration with Yulish Research Center, one of the largest interdisciplinary research centers in Europe, in neuroscience and biophysics research. The agreement states that An-Najah can dispatch Dr. Qnaibi's students to finish their graduate and postgraduate degrees in Germany. The collaboration will contribute to a global progress as it will develop new drugs to treat neurological diseases in a way that reduces the side effect on the current drugs. On Monday, October the 2nd, the International Office's American Corner Naples held the closing ceremony for its 20-hour Advanced English for the Workplace course with Ms. Maysa Abuzant. The intensive course was completed by 30 students in their final year of study at An-Najah or who have recently graduated. Every student was required to take both a written and verbal exam in order to be accepted into the workshop. The program included interactive activities requiring the participants to actively engage in English activities to stimulate their learning. The workshop focused on interview skills, CV writing, professional email writing, presentations, public speaking, and vocabulary. On Friday and Saturday, An-Najah hosted Kia Motors Company at the Palestinian Korean Institution. The event aimed at introducing several methods of Kia Motors vehicles, including the outstanding hybrid car Niro and many other cars. NBC Journal team was there and prepared the following report.
Kia now is about top 5 in the world, which is something. And thanks for the best designer that we have, Peter Schreier, who really brought the company with the best design. As you see, we have really the best design that you need to test drive the car and feel the quality of the car. We started this, as I said, about 5 years ago, that you look at the brand new cars and we give you a ticket to go and to test drive the car. What's nice about it, that it's a family event also, that your kids will go and play, and we have gifts for them. We have many things that you have to go.
Elon Musk has said he believes he will be able to rebuild Puerto Rico's hurricane-ravaged power grid with batteries and solar power. Millions of Puerto Ricans are currently living in the dark after Hurricane Maria's 140 miles per hour winds and torrential rain annihilated 80% of the island's electricity. A whole 2 weeks later, just 9% of residents have electricity, according to Puerto Rican government figures. The spacecraft and Tesla founder announced that he would be able to help with relief efforts by restoring electricity to the country. The Trump administration has formally announced its plan to repeal the Clean Power Plan, President Obama's key policy to cut greenhouse gas emissions produced by power plants. The decision, announced by EPA Chief Scott Pruitt on Monday, was widely expected but still comes as a blow to advocates for the environment and follows a pledge to abandon another measure to protect the atmosphere from dangerous pollutants, the Paris Climate Agreement. The war on coal is over, Pruitt said at an event in the town of Hazard, located in the coal heartland of Kentucky. The EPA and no federal agency should ever use its authority to say to you, we are going to declare war on any sector of our economy. The Nobel Prize for Medicine has been awarded for research that would put you to sleep, but definitely in a good way. Sometimes the Nobel Prizes can be given to scientists that achieve arcane or highly specific work. But this time around, their discoveries get at one of the most fundamental things in the world, sleep, and how it changes our life. The discovery in itself was interesting, though not especially practical. But scientists say that the discovery could be used to come to understand the mysteries of sleep, and to help discoveries that could change how we understand our body's connections with time. New research published on Monday finds there is so much wind energy potential over oceans that it could theoretically be used to generate civilization-scale power, assuming, that is, that we are willing to cover enormous stretches of the sea with turbines, and can come up with ways to install and maintain them in often extreme ocean environments. It's very unlikely that we would ever build out open ocean turbines on anything like that scale. Indeed, doing so could even alter the planet's climate, the research finds. But the more modest message is that wind energy over the open oceans has large potential, reinforcing the idea that floating wind farms over very deep waters could be the next major step for wind energy technology. This study takes as its outset prior research that has found that there is probably an upper limit to the amount of energy that can be generated by a wind farm that's located on land. Why do they do drugs? This is a question that friends and families often ask of those who are addicted. There are two popular explanations for addiction, neither of which holds up to scrutiny. The first is that compulsive drug taking is a bad habit, one that addicts just needs to kick. However, to the brain, a habit is nothing more than our ability to carry out repetitive tasks, like tying our shoelaces or brushing our teeth, more and more efficiently. People don't typically get caught up in an endless and compulsive cycle of shoelace tying. Another theory claims that overcoming withdrawals is too tough for many addicts. Withdrawal, the highly unpleasant feeling that occurs when the drug leaves your body, can include sweats, chills, anxiety, and heart palpitations. In his interview with Forbes, published on Tuesday, Donald Trump showed how his self-confessed tactics of exaggeration when negotiating business deals are now being applied to the U.S. economy. He also called for protectionist measures, directly clashing with recommendations contained in a key International Monetary Fund (IMF) report released the same day, saying his administration was working on a fantastic economic bill which nobody knows about. Trump offered no details but said the bill contained economic development incentives for companies to stay in the U.S. Companies sending jobs overseas, he said, would get penalized severely. The IMF report on the global economy contained a rebuke to protectionist policies. Although the chances of advanced economic policies turning inward have diminished in the near term, pressure for increased protectionism have not disappeared and ought to be resisted, it read.